Welcome to Star Watch Now, your front row seat to all the hottest gossip, drama, and breaking news from the world of entertainment. If it's trending, shocking, or star-studded, we're covering it. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what's coming next. What if love wasn't loud? What if it lived in the quietest moments? A glance across a crowded set, a warm drink left behind, a jacket gently draped over your shoulders before a cold night shoot. This isn't just friendship, and fans know it. Today, we're uncovering the secret gestures and deeply unspoken bond between Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan. The kind of love story that doesn't need words to be heard. Brace yourself, because after watching this, you'll never see them the same again. Xiao Zhan is often introduced to the public with the polished language of stardom, versatile actor, record-breaking vocalist, national treasure. Yet behind the superlatives stands a man who has tasted the loneliest side of fame. In the brief calm between red carpet flashes and studio spotlights, he navigates memories that still sting. The overnight storm of criticism that turned every click into an accusation. The sudden silence of colleagues who once called him brother. The feeling of searching for friendly eyes in a room that had already decided its verdict. These moments carved high ramparts around his heart. Not out of pride, but out of sheer survival. Each brick in that invisible wall is mortared with questions most of us whisper to ourselves only in private. Will they stay if I falter? Will they love me when I fail to shine? Ordinary encouragement no longer reached him. Compliments slipped away like rain on marble. Apologies arrived too late to matter. He carried on with professional grace, but grace is not the same as ease, and a poised smile can conceal an exhausted spirit. The industry read his composure as proof of resilience, missing the truth that resilience is forged in pain. And pain, when left unacknowledged, becomes a private climate. Cold, unpredictable, unspoken. Into this climate stepped Wang Yibo, a man whose public image is nearly as austere as Xiao Zhan's private one. Yibo did not attempt the grand rescue that tabloids romanticize. He offered something rarer, ordinary presence. He learned the rhythms of Xiao Zhan's quiet hours, when conversation would soothe him, when silence would shelter him, when a brief hand on the shoulder would say more than any string of consoling words. Small gestures became lifelines. A thermos of honey tea slid across a dressing room table. A rehearsal schedule rearranged to give Xiao Zhan an hour of unbroken rest. A book of poetry left open to a page about winter patience. Each act registered almost imperceptibly, yet began to chip at the ramparts. The wall did not crumble overnight. It softened moss-like, where kindness touched it. What makes Yibo's presence extraordinary is not theatrical gallantry but emotional accuracy. He recognized that Xiao Zhan did not need declarations. He needed someone to remain visible when the cameras were gone. In staying, Yibo rewrote the question at the center of Xiao Zhan's defenses. It was no longer, will they still be here if I fall? But, can I trust the quiet I feel beside this person? Trust, once reignited, glows softly at first, like an ember shielded from the wind. Yet an ember is all a winter-bound heart requires to imagine spring. And so, beneath the loud machinery of Chinese entertainment, a subtler story is unfolding. A man who built walls to feel safe meets another who respects those walls enough to wait at the gate, day after day, until the gate itself begins to open. Love often arrives disguised as routine, and that is precisely how Wang Yibo chose to place himself in Xiao Zhan's orbit. Not as a heroic savior, but as the ordinary detail that never slipped away. On set he moved like background music, present, steady, unnoticed until you strained to listen. He studied the scripts not only for his own lines but for the moments when Xiao Zhan would be standing longest under the studio lamps. When that moment came, there was invariably a chair ready, angled so the harsh key light missed Xiao Zhan's eyes by a fraction. No assistant claimed responsibility, no production note recorded the kindness. Yet the placement reappeared, scene after scene, like handwriting you recognize without reading the signature. During night shoots, the algebra of exhaustion is simple. The body cools, muscles tighten, morale evaporates. Yibo prepared for it the way another man might prepare for combat, assembling small tools of comfort. A second-hand army coat, cleaned, stitched too large for himself, waited on a hook near the monitor. If the temperature dropped, he would absent-mindedly drape it over Xiao Zhan's shoulders, pretending he needed to check a costume adjustment. The gesture was brief, almost clumsy. The warmth lingered far longer. It is one thing to offer sympathy in daylight, another to remember that sympathy at 3 in the morning when every syllable feels heavy. Silence, too, became one of Yibo's gifts. Fame is crowded with half-heard whispers, but genuine quiet is scarce. Between takes he would sit beside Xiao Zhan and say nothing at all, offering the rare luxury of not being required to perform. That hush was not emptiness. It was a listening space, broad enough for both to breathe. In that space, Xiao Zhan began to sketch again, first in the margins of call sheets, then on loose sheets of craft paper. One dawn Yibo arrived earlier than usual and left a small parcel on the makeup table. A travel-sized tin of charcoal pencils and a leather-bound sketchbook embossed only with a single silver star. No note. When Xiao Zhan opened it, he found the first page unmarked, as if inviting him to write a new beginning. Food can be language, and Yibo speaks it fluently. He remembered an offhand remark about throat pain and taught himself to simmer ginger, lemon and honey to precisely 60 degrees Celsius. Hot enough to soothe, cool enough to drink without hesitation. He stored the mixture in a battered thermos, the paint on its cap worn smooth by use. He never offered it aloud. He simply placed it within reach and moved on. In an industry obsessed with grand gestures, bouquets delivered by drone, midday feasts for social media likes, this unadvertised drink tasted like an oath. I notice you even when cameras are blind. Each act was small enough to escape a headline yet powerful enough to rewrite an inner narrative. Against the ledger of disappointments that had taught Xiao Zhan to expect abandonment, Yibo kept adding quiet credits. Temperature, silence, pencil, coat, until the balance began to tilt. Love, in his hands, was almost invisible, but like oxygen, invisibility made it no less vital. There is a current that runs beneath conversation, too subtle for microphones yet strong enough to realign two lives, and Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan have long traveled its hidden course. When they rehearse a scene, dialogue becomes a secondary code. The first language is rhythm. Yibo shifts his weight, Xiao Zhan mirrors the movement half a breath later, and the camera accidentally captures choreography that was never written. Directors praise their timing as professional instinct, but timing this precise is closer to resonance. Two instruments tuned until even a muted string hums in sympathy. On stage, the phenomenon intensifies. Yibo's shoulder dips on a dance count that only he should know, yet Xiao Zhan spins precisely as if receiving the cue through marrow rather than ear. The audience applauds chemistry. Neither performer bothers to explain that chemistry is just physics in the shape of trust. Away from spotlights, the signal persists in quieter frequencies. Yibo posts a late-night playlist, 8 understated tracks arranged without comment. Minutes later, Xiao Zhan uploads a single lyric, 2 lines from the 7th song, the one whose chorus ends on the word home. Fans decode, debate, overlay screenshots, but what matters is not public speculation. The importance lies in the private certainty that someone heard the message exactly as it was meant. In a profession where words are endlessly rehearsed and repackaged, the relief of an unspoken reply feels like stepping barefoot onto warm sand after months of marble floors. Objects, too, become relay stations for this invisible dialogue. A silver ring appears on Yibo's right hand, etched with a minimal mountain design. Weeks later, Xiao Zhan attends a press event wearing a bracelet so slender it could be missed, yet the same peak lines the clasp. Journalists inquire about brand endorsements. Both men deflect with easy smiles, unwilling to hand over the map to a territory they built in silence. In another instance, a photographer catches them exiting separate airport gates but carrying identical canvas totes. Plain at first glance, until a zoom reveals stitched coordinates on the seams. The numbers trace back to a lakeside tea house far from Shanghai, a place neither has publicly referenced. Geography becomes autobiography when stitched by hands that understand its references. Perhaps the most eloquent conversation unfolds in moments of simultaneous stillness. During a charity gala, applause swells for a performer neither of them knows well. Cameras sweep the crowd, pausing on recognizable faces, Yet the lens lingers longest where Yibo and Xiao Zhan sit. They are not speaking, not gesturing. What draws the focus is the uncanny accord in their posture. Spines aligning, elbows settling at the same angle, chins tilting as if choreographed by an unseen director. Viewers later describe the tableau as serene, but serenity is only the surface. Beneath it lies the electric hush of two people listening to the same internal weather, forecasting change without consulting the sky. Connections like these cannot be quantified. They will not appear in contracts, nor survive as anecdotes once gossip moves on. Yet they endure because the human nervous system remembers frequencies even when memory forgets facts. In that remembrance, Yibo and Xiao Zhan meet, time and again, proving that the most consequential dialogue is the one no audience ever fully hears. When the 2020 controversy hit, everyone stepped back from Xiao Zhan. Everyone except Wang Yibo. Yibo didn't post statements. He didn't do interviews. But he kept playing Zhan's music on his live sets. He liked a fan drawing that showed Zhan standing alone, with someone holding an umbrella over him from behind. That someone looked a lot like Yibo. Was it intentional? Maybe. But intentional or not, the message was clear. I'm still here, even when no one else is. This isn't a showman's. It's not staged. It's the kind of bond that speaks through musical note, shared song lyrics across platforms. Wrapped gift, unexpected gifts left backstage. Scarves, water bottles, thermoses, swapped and returned. Sparkles, matching tattoos? Not confirmed. But fans swear they spotted identical characters drawn in different styles. And maybe the boldest gesture? Open book. A rumor spread that Yibo once gifted Xiao Zhan a hand-annotated book of Japanese haiku, with one line circled in red ink. I waited through the quiet snow for your spring. If you really want to see the truth, watch their eyes. Wang Yibo rarely smiles in public. But when Xiao Zhan enters the room, sparkles, his entire face shifts. Sparkles, his posture relaxes. Sparkles, his eyes soften. It's not performance. It's reflex. Real love doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it just looks at you like you're the only one that matters. You might wonder, why do fans care so deeply? Because in a world full of fake gestures, PR pairings, and scripted chemistry, this feels raw, real, and rare. It reminds us that love can exist without confirmation, that the smallest gestures can hold the deepest meaning, that someone can fall in love not because of what you say, but because of who you are when no one's watching. If you've ever believed in quiet love, in loyalty that doesn't need a stage, in the kind of connection that doesn't need to be proven to be real, then this story is for you. Love letter. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another emotional dive into the hidden stories of Asia's most beloved stars. Thank you for joining us today on Star Watch Now, where every glance tells a story and every heartbeat could be the beginning of something beautiful. See you in the next episode. Glowing Star.